Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I here, host of the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams for another edition of Pitts and Sarah's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. All right, and you can't be taking no nights off in the yard of streams unless you got the best of the West. You can't forget about by your side. Sarah, what's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
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 What's popping? How we doing?
I'm just overwhelmed right now because my mom is like, in case anyone didn't see, I just posted that I interviewed Teddy Bruschi this morning. So I'm just getting a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm sending it to all my friends. And my mom is like, I just sent it to all my friends. I'm like, okay.
There we go, Sarah. Big things popping for us here. Like, that's great. I am going to watch it right after this because I actually got home, took a nap right before we recorded, and was woken up by people calling me trying to place orders for the next day. So I was I was a little peeved. Not it like them, but you know how when you are asleep and you're in that sweet spot, and then just the littlest thing wakes you up, and you are just like, where in what world did I just launch to? That's how I felt. And when I got the call, like, there's just noise, 'cause it's a kitchen, and there's just noise in the background, and I'm just like, you need to text me whatever you're about to tell me right now, because I'm not going to remember any of it.
Yeah.
And this is for the betterment of both of us. Like, it's just so, I mean, to have that, I went to sleep for another 10 minutes and then woke up to a nosebleed. So
fun times in the Pitts household is what you're saying.
It's just utter nonsense at all times in this house. I swear to God. There should be a TV show about my family, because one minute you're living my life, and then you go upstairs and see the lives of your parents, and you got one with a Swiffer and something trying to catch a mouse. It's
oh my gosh,
it's a whole thing. But enough about my life, because that's a whole other show that we could probably have and should be written. We got to talk about the life of wrestling, because wrestling is so hot and back right now. I don't know if you saw this, Sarah, but Taylor Swift even referenced our tribal chief Roman Reigns in a song, apparently.
Oh, really?
On her new, it says Reign.
Oh my God.
And someone took the notes and wrote, like,
Roman
this
Reigns.
is a reference to Roman Reigns, the longest reigning of the. So in that case, like, it's so mainstream. People are, friends of mine who don't watch are actually tuning into stuff. And we got peeps here in the chat, excuse me, that want to talk wrestling with us. I mean,
I have to tell you one thing. I'm pretty sure the microphone is in your earbuds. I'm just telling you now.
I know it is.
Okay, I'm just letting you know, because the other day it was too, and you were still trying to talk through the microphone. I was like, it's not doing anything.
Okay, so you just broke the fourth wall.
I'm sorry.
Because
sorry.
No, so since Philly, the little adapter thing that I had, I think it got fucked up in traveling. So like, we'll plug in correctly.
Oh.
So I have to use this, and I got to put that on my list of things to do on my off day, Sunday and Monday. But I haven't had the time to go get a new one. So we have the illusion. See, it's the illusion. All right. So you just broke the illusion.
Sorry, I was trying to be helpful. In case you didn't know. Whoops.
No, I love it. No, I don't. That's fucking funny as hell. Ayo to you, Vinny. I was gonna. You were here early.
Oh yeah.
Vinny gets balloons. It's kind of cool, Vinny, for showing up early. You get balloons. It's kind of great. Jay, any SmackDown predictions? Not really.
I'm gonna guess. Oh yeah.
You're wicked animated today.
I know. I would say, I mean, it's gonna be like the Street Profits are probably gonna win the tag match to be the number one contenders, I assume. What are the other matches that are happening? I don't know. We're gonna see some more drama in the Bloodline, seeing Solo as our tribal chief, brother.
That is what I'm staying up for. That is what I'm very excited for.
Other than that, I mean, I'm interested to see kind of like what happens with Bailey. Like if we're going to see any interaction between her and Damage Control, because we haven't seen that since Mania.
Yeah, I'd like to know who Bailey's next feud is. I'm not gonna say match. I want to say like feud outside of Damage Control.
Because does she have a match tonight with
Naomi?
Okay.
Naomi's tonight's for the championship.
Got it.
But I mean, I just, as we say here, we know ball. We know that this is not something that's brewing between Bailey and Naomi. Okay, when you have a match like this is just the genesis of something bigger and new. So I can't wait for that. That I'm really excited for. But the Solo Sikoa New Age bloodline with Tama Tonga is just, I can't. I'm so excited for that.
I'm a big old stan.
I
feel like I'm gonna become like a big bloodline member because of this story.
Yeah, like, you're gonna go so hard towards the bloodline.
I know, and I'll be so like fun. Just like collectively, like the entire group, because I'm gonna probably love the Solo part, and I'm gonna love the babyface Roman era. Like I think I'm just gonna be like, yeah, for both of them. Yeah,
I think you are. Yes, just a lot of yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Nathaniel, I'm excited for Dynasty and the Lakers. That's so interesting. The second part. Dynasty, I am. I'm hopefully I'm golfing on Sunday with my peeps, my best peeps. So I'm hoping I can get home. And what?
When do we find out? Is it tonight when we find out if it's the Bulls or Heat for the Celtics?
We do, but apparently the Heat have a flight booked for
the Bulls do too. Come on, it's like they just have it prepared.
One of my favorite. No, it's one of my favorite things in sports, because after working for Quinnipiac all through college, like if you don't know, well, now you do. You have to do this because you can't just book a flight of that magnitude.
Well, it's like the parade routes, when it's like, the Chiefs already have their parade scheduled for Tuesday or whatever, and it's like, well, because they need to shut down like an entire however many blocks in the city, like they have to do it early.
The only thing, just don't tell them, just don't tell the players. That's how you combat that. Sup, Jay, I know you already said it. Nathaniel, I did like your Edge DVD. I really did like it, because I got my DVD. You see the bookcase over there, because now you can see a little bit of the Pitts Cave. In the bookcase, I had the NWO one. I forget where that went. The Attitude Era one. I got those for Christmas one year. And, oh my God, they're awesome. So anyone who has those DVDs, like, they're collectibles. Sup, Ashton. I did not see that H. I'm so sorry. Ashton, like Kucher.
Yes.
Like Kucher.
He's been a Pete for a while.
He has been a Pete for a while. Well, I know that.
He originally was watching me in my Patriot streams.
Oh, he's one of your peeps.
Yes.
That came over. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I think I should be calling my peeps that are like Pitts fans, Pitts Fits.
Pitts Fits?
Like Misfits, Pitts Fits.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Because Christmas, because when when you play your music on your phone, like through shuffle, and just random songs come up, just whatever. Well, the Rudolph the Reindeer song, like "We're a couple of misfits."
Oh yeah,
that came on, and then just the idea, I'm like, why am I not calling my fans Pitts Fits? That's just too cool. That's just too good. Where'd I get the US spinner? It looks legit. It's very legit. All right, I will tell you, it is very legit. And I got it at Mania. It was actually, and Sara can attest to this, the first thing that we did when the three of us walked in to Superstore. I got this because it was a childhood dream of mine, if you want to say, to get this actual title. So now that we have the position we're in, we got it. It was awesome. And NBA playoffs are tomorrow. I'm excited. Playoff sports is awesome. Like, that's the thing. We had playoff wrestling. You know what I mean? And I feel like playoff wrestling's Royal Rumble right to Mania. And that's just like, that is when your emotions are high. Now we get to experience that on the sports side for the sports fans too. It's a great time in life between like April, like January to really all the months actually, because I was thinking NFL, all that. But we're talking sports, Sarah. I think it's all time to circle back and talk some wrestling. And the best way to do that is talk about our favorite and least favorite things of the week with our favorite segment of the week.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sarah. Be a rosebud. It is time for our lemons and rosebuds of the week. For any new peeps here, welcome. And for this segment, what we do is our rosebuds, our favorite things in wrestling this week, not only just WWE, but in all of wrestling. You know, even I got the AEW shared here, in all of wrestling, and then least favorite thing in all of wrestling. So, Sarah, I've been royal rambling here for a little bit. So why don't you kick it off with your rosebud of the week?
My rosebud is Becky Lynch. She did, I think it was with Chris Van Vliet. She did an interview. And shout out to Chris Van Vliet. Very nice guy. We met him at Mania, the Super Soror. And she was asked about, I don't remember the exact question, but it was something about like, what is the difference right now in WWE and why is it going so well? Like, what is going on that makes it as good as it is right now? And she gave all of the credit basically to Triple H. And she said that the main thing is the storylines, that nothing is pointless. Everything that we do, there's a thought process behind it, that they see a beginning, middle, and end to everything that they do, that they don't just like throw an idea, it sticks to the wall, we do it this week, but we have no idea what we're doing next week. So I feel like we've kind of gotten that when we've talked about that, you know, from when we talk about certain matches or certain feuds, that we felt like, okay, like there seems to be a direction here. And we've talked about how that was a big stain, I would say, at least in the last like 10 years or so with Vince, where it was like, he was just doing the most random stuff this week. And then
No
next week
payoff.
it was like, and then next week they were doing something completely different. And the two people that were going to have a feud now like aren't even on screen together. So I just thought it was cool to hear that from Becky because, you know, she's done a lot during this past 2 years or so that Triple H has been mostly in charge until this past year when it was like fully him. And it's exciting to hear that because, you know, we give him a lot of praise for what we like and what we think he's doing a good job at. But then to hear like, no, he's actually paying attention to all of the details and he's really thinking these things through. It does give you a little bit of optimism, for more optimism, I think, for the future, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, I can always say that I love what Triple H is doing, but that's an understatement. Like what he's doing is exactly what was needed for the industry. And just hearing the comments, like he's legitimately working with each and every person. You know, maybe if it's just 2 minutes or 2 hours, you know, he's with them. You can see the picture of him and Rhea Ripley, you know, rehearsing her entrance and how she's going to come out. And, you know, when you have, you know, a leader in that position who is so invested to the product that he wants to talk to everyone about it, that's when the ship is going to not only move well, but move well and in the right direction. He is without a doubt the one person who could have saved the sinking ship that was, you know, a little bit before the pandemic. I mean, I've seen those I forget what year it was, honestly, because I was phasing out a little bit at that point. But I mean, he makes you invested to the point where you don't have to be a wrestling fan to watch and understand what's going on. You know, you may not know the nuances of, well, that's Chelsea Green and she gets, but like, you know, there's a general story behind it. And, you know, it's so refreshing to see that.
I think that she also said that there is a little bit, I think it was her, I might be combining it with somebody from something that somebody else said, but I believe that she also said that there's a little bit more of a freedom that they have now, which we've talked about too with guys like Drew. I would say, I mean, the whole thing with Cody and Seth and The Rock and Roman stuff like that, you could tell that was not like it was planned, but a lot of that you could tell there was like restrictions were taken off. Like they were just like, go at it, like do what you want to do, sell it how you want to sell it. And I think it's great. Like Ashton said in the chat, it's like Triple H is really the only one. Like he is the perfect one to take over and like transform the company into this new era. And yeah, so it's just pretty exciting to hear that the guys and the girls in the back are just as excited about it as we are.
I'm trying to think of a rosebud from me. Because I really don't know. Usually you're the one who struggles with a rosebud. I kind of got to go with NXT. I'll just, for the easy rosebud of the week, I'll say what was my favorite show that I watched. And it was NXT. Raw was good and Raw was Raw, but it was Raw and it was what it, for what it was. AEW is disappointing me right now. A lot, to the point where I'm actually just watching to just know what's going on, and keep myself informed. I'm very excited for Dynasty because I know those are going to be good matches. They did the job there where you want me to get the pay-per-view. I'm going to buy the pay-per-view, but I'm not as invested as I am with AEW than I am NXT. The young stars that they have there and the way they're able to just have the freedom, like you said, to just do whatever they want and have the guidance of HBK, like that like the perfect example. This is the perfect example of how NXT is better than AEW right now. You have Gigi Dolan and Ariana Grace. Some bullshit little backstage vignette into, a little bit of them shopping and that sort of off camera, whatever. That was more entertaining than any sort of, segment, not match, but segment that AEW did. Because I'm actually seeing like, all right, we're trying to, with them, we're trying to build them up to something and get them, build a relationship into something where in AEW, it's just match, promo.
Yeah.
There's no substance at all. And there was, that's the other thing. Like there was for a good period of time, and there's some substance with the FTR Young Bucks, but that is also, we're going to talk about that. But there's no substance in story like there is in NXT right now. And Shawn Michaels and whoever else is down there is just absolutely killing it. So that's just kind of just going to lead me to my lemon because I am so over. I don't know if I said it last week. No, we didn't say it last week, Sarah, because we were recapping WrestleMania. So we did not have time to break down this footage. And let me tell you, since that footage came out, lukewarm. I've just been lukewarm with my feelings towards AEW. I respect the hell out of the Young Bucks, but Tony, I don't have that love and passion I did for it because it feels like they're just grasping for straws when they're not. They're a $2 billion company.
I don't believe that, but
I do.
I don't believe it. Billion? No.
Yes.
Absolutely not. No. I don't believe that for a single second.
WWE is $8 billion.
Tony has lied about numbers before, so that's why I don't.
It's TV deals.
No.
It's TV deals, it's all that. So I get that and where it makes sense. So I respect him from that point, but dude, just hire someone else to book your shows. Like, be the fan who just throws your 2 cents and then goes and observes. Like,
and he said he doesn't really want to do that until he feels like he can't do it anymore. He just said that.
There it is. I did see. Thank you, sir. High five. Like, when I read that quote, I was so upset because I'm like, how like, how do you watch what's going on in WWE? You don't think Triple H is a fan? You don't think all the guys in the back are fans?
Yeah.
You started out as a fan, but the business, the mind, you got to make money somehow, and sometimes you have to put your personal feelings aside to make some money, and that happens when you have other people that you can go to that aren't yes men. That is a big difference. Surrounding yourself with good people and yes men are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you surround yourself with the right people who are like, no, they're doing this right now. We have this in our arsenal. Why can't we utilize that? It's like, and you don't see that because you're so blinded by the bias. It's just frustrating. And the footage, I think they thought it was going to be a home run knock out of the park and go viral. But once they saw the footage, it was exactly what CM Punk said.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, cool. Like, we don't care.
It did the complete opposite of what they wanted. But I think, I mean, other than the fact that, it backfired because they thought that they had like, yeah, we're going to set this straight. Like, look at this. He was lying when, of course, he wasn't. I think the bigger mistake was putting it out there in general, responding to what Punk said in general. Like, don't say anything. Like, we kind of touched on it. I just don't really understand why they value what he has to say so much. Like, I'm not even saying that in a disrespectful way, but it's like, okay, he's in the other company now. So he's going to air his grievances towards you because it didn't end amicably with you. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be a pro WWE guy now because it's going well for him. And he's going to be anti AEW because of that, on top of his ill feelings already. So like, yeah, he's going to go out there and say what he believes and what he interprets as the truth, because that's his truth. They have theirs. But like, why even respond? Why do you care? You're just feeding the animal. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, because if anything, you had more people talking about CM Punk. You had more people probably watching the interview that Punk did to see what exactly he said. Like, everything that you wanted to do didn't happen.
So they chanted CM Punk at an AEW event. You lost. You lost.
Yeah. It's just bad.
All right. What is your lemon this week?
So my lemon is the news about Seth Rollins. So we could tell something was off with Rollins on night 2, specifically of WrestleMania. Because I mean off, and I say that because, we see that he was very emotional, and I say that that's why it was a little off, because it felt like, okay, what's going on here? Like, there's a deeper something going on here beyond him being upset that he lost the title, right? At first, like, okay, you can give him a little bit of that. He had that really cool exchange with Drew after Drew won for 5 minutes and 46 seconds. But then when he came out as the Shield, did whatever he had to do, and then he was just like on the ground and just like crying, and just something felt off. So we knew that he was probably going to take time off. Some people started to float the idea that he was going to leave WWE, and I'm like, come on, guys, he's like literally like the biggest WWE guy in the company right now. Like, that's not happening. So Becky revealed today that he actually tore his meniscus and performed both nights of WrestleMania with a torn meniscus, and he had surgery on it over the last few days. So he's going to be gone because of that, not because of anything else. And so that just bummed me out, because when you think about someone taking time off because they want to, or because they, deserved it, you're like, okay, it could be a month or 2 months, maybe, whatever. But now that it's an injury, it's like, oh man, that sucks, because it's like, now he can't just like wake up one day and be like, you know what, I miss it, let's go back. Now it's going to have to be however many, weeks, months, or whatever it is for him to come back. And so there's that. And then, of course, I would say it's not a lemon, but I think that people need to give him more flowers for what he did at WrestleMania, because I don't, other than the crying and the slow, like the needing help to get up on night 2 when Cody was celebrating, I don't think anyone knew that something was wrong. Like, You saw he got messed up on it from a claymore on the eye. But other than that, you would have no idea that he was dealing with like a severe injury because he's just such a professional and put on great matches all the time. So yeah. So hopefully he'll be better soon so we can see him back, and I'm excited to see like what they have him do, but I'm just kind of bummed.
I'm bummed. It's fun to see Seth on Monday night, and it's bumming.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at comments here.
I'm laughing at Chrome Knuckle. Oh, Chrome Knuckle. Welcome back. He's so mad that we're taking Punk side.
A cool. Oh well, you know,
I'm not. The thing is, okay, so like if we're gonna get back to that, it's not saying his behavior was okay. We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying it's okay to put a kid in a chokehold. I'm not even gonna say a kid, a dude in a chokehold, because he can't get that pass. Like he can't just be like, oh, he's a kid. No, you're a grown ass man. Like, you know, no. All we're saying is what Punk said happened was shown in the video. The reason that they were showing the video was because they thought they had a gotcha on Punk.
And they didn't.
They didn't. They actually just confirmed what he said. So there was no point in showing it because if anything, you made yourself look bad. Like you looked like an idiot. And so many people were coming out in the wrestling industry, former wrestlers, fans were all coming in and being like, that was the biggest mistake that AEW could have ever made. Like, why did they do that? So it's like, it has nothing to do with picking sides. It's not condoning any behavior. It's just like, why would you have done that? Why are you, why?
And the fact that they try to use it to have massive heat on Jack Perry heading into the New Japan thing in Chicago, and it was not massive heat. Actually, we had people cheering for Jack Perry at one point.
Well, yeah, because now a lot of people are going to be anti-Punk, right? Like it's like this, it's the opposite. Like, because I'm sure when he came to AEW, there are a lot of people who weren't necessarily fans of his to begin with, but they were like, this dude just jumped ship, came out of like a retirement for 10 years, and he's in AEW. I'm going to cheer for this guy. Now those people are like, F this dude. You know, now he jumped back and he's talking crap about the company I love. So now they're going to boo him and cheer the guy that he's having beef with. So, I mean,
Micah,
do your thing,
I like
guess.
Jack Perry. What are you talking about? Stop. How do you not like Jack Perry?
Are you being for real?
Scapegoat. Oh, don't you? Yeah, I'm being dead serious.
Okay.
I love Jack Perry.
All right.
Well, I also
you talking about Jungle Boy.
What did I not like Jungle Boy?
No.
I like this Jack Perry.
Okay.
I like this. No, because I like this Jack Perry because he is the one person out of all of this, but that kind of got fucked. Like he did. Like he was being a stupid indie guy trying to be doing stupid indie things. But that's what AEW is. Like, and that's why that's why I watch it, because I want to see that type of shit. And if he wants to use real glass, like, let the fucking dude use real glass. CM Punk trying to be the wise older veteran, trying to give some wisdom advice. I get it. I get that avenue. Like, if you're Jack Perry, you just say, I appreciate that, but I'm going to go my way. Like, this is what I do. The way he came about it was kind of,
from
immature.
What he said, mouthy, bratty.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was very immature. Childish.
But it's like part of that is because that's how Tony handles things. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would Jack Perry feel anything? Like why would he be like, why should I be more respectful to you, or why should I be like? Tony has meltdowns on Twitter. That's the leader of the company. If you want somebody who is younger and inexperienced, like a Jack Perry, to behave better, then you need to behave better and set the example for your company. So, Punk's not used to that, and that he got fed up with it. And I'm sure part of it also was just like, if he really had already spoken to him before about it and like tried to be like helpful to him, this was probably just a result of frustration that this guy
Exactly.
was then just being a
All it
prick,
is.
or like he also could have had built up frustration just in general, as we saw at the presser. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
probably just it was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Micah, that's right. I don't really talk trash about any wrestlers. I do like everything. However, not everything. There's stuff I do not like. I feel like Sarah might know or might not. I don't know, but there's stuff I just don't care about.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to be a heel and just say that I don't like
I just
certain
like
things.
it's just awesome. Like it just
Well, because
it's so
this is
good.
the thing is that I try to be, at least for the most part, because sometimes I'm not. I can get super saucy, but like I try to be as respectful as possible. At least like I respect all of these people, but I'm going to say, if I don't like your character, I don't like your character. I don't like this. I don't like this. What were you doing? You know, like it's not, for the most part, unless you're talking about certain people, it's not that deep. You know, it's like
that's
I
a good way to
just,
put it.
it's like it's wrestling. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
Exactly
whoever Jack Perry is in real life. I don't know, like, but from what we saw and what we've heard, you don't seem like the coolest guy. So,
you know what's hilarious is I am now watching, or we are watching Jack Perry now. My brother, his like favorite actor growing up was Luke Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told him that Luke Perry's son is a wrestler, like he almost blew his mind. So
Yeah,
so I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, he's not bad. And then I told him the whole punk thing. He's like, oh geez. I'm like, yeah, it's hot drama.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm trying to see more before we get in. All right, not really anymore. All right, let's talk. Oh, I didn't say what's popping. All right, sorry, I didn't put that banner in. We were making the banners and then fell asleep. All right, you get up at 4 in the morning every day. We none of that banners, none of those. We're just hopping right into it because there's a lot of fun stuff going on. Thanks to social media just giving us these topics. I mean, it's just so easy. All right. It's so easy that even a caveman can do it. So I'll start with what I was going to have as my rosebud, but I wanted to actually make it a bigger topic.
Okay.
Was SGW.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch this, but
oh my God, Sarah.
Sorry.
Sarah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're gonna go watch it after this because you have to. It's absolutely incredible. For anyone who doesn't know, SGW is a Ugandan wrestling, soft ground wrestling promotion where it's the people of Uganda are trying to one day, make it in either WWE or AEW and become wrestlers. So they made their own promotion and they train and do all that, and but they have been doing it for so long. They've gone viral on X, Twitter, whatever. For I actually think it's been months now, like well before Mania. I've seen soft ground wrestling, and yesterday it was they had an appearance from, we know them as the Maximum Male Models. They are not the Maximum Male Models anymore.
It's because they can't.
They can't be, but that's WB. So it's MXM. It's I don't know their friggin' names. I'm gonna look at it.
Way to go.
I'm looking it up before. I got it because I got to get this right. MXM Wrestling. Let's see. It's Mansoor. I know Mansoor, but I couldn't think of the other guy. Mansoor and Mason Madden are MXM, and my God, they showed up. Do you know anything about Ugandan wrestling?
No.
Like this, okay, so they have a heel called Lord White, and he's just this ruling king, whatever. And so the video starts with him, beating down on one of the guys and his power, to the point I sent it to you for later. And he's beating him up with a belt, and then he goes, "No, I'm gonna piss on him," and like he goes to piss on him. Well, that's just too damn much for the audience and for the peeps, because that's when MXM showed up out of goddamn nowhere and made their appearance and put Lord White in his place. And then they, after it, I saw clips online of them promoting SGW. You can buy shirts to support SGW. Go look it up and go do it. I'm going to do it after this because all the proceeds for the shirts that you get go towards their housing and the promotion itself, because they rent the land and they don't have like beds or furniture to sleep on or whatnot, so they're slumming it, and it's a hell of a story. I can't wait for one day they get made into a documentary, or I help make that documentary, one of the two, because that's an incredible story that I wish I just knew where to find it on the reg, whether it's a YouTube channel or something, because holy shit, Sarah, some of the moves they do are goddamn incredible. It's fucking incredible. So anyone in the comment section who has not seen that yet, you have to go look it up. It was absolutely electric. And their finishing move, MXM, is sick. They start off like they think they're gonna. You got one guy here, and then the other guy's got his legs like on the here, and then they flip him over and do like a reverse. It's so cool. Go check it out. It's awesome. All right. And then we can start with it. We can talk about this. We're still on that WWE, but Drew McIntyre. It was found to what, Sarah, you take the reins because you know more about this than I do.
Okay, so there's been a lot of talk about Drew McIntyre's contract status, I would say, for months now, but especially around Mania, because the original report said that his contract ran out like right after WrestleMania, but that they extended it to keep him around for like 6 more weeks or so. So as of right now, the current report is saying that he is signed through till sometime in May, but that it actually expires before Clash at the Castle. So a lot of people were like, okay, there's no way he's not re-signing, because like you're really gonna miss the pay-per-view in your home country, because a lot of people were thinking, because even Drew posted a picture of the Summer of Punk, like the blowing of the kiss thing. So people were like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. But then we're seeing that the reports are saying like he's not even scheduled to be there. So I really hope that they just get this figured out. I would like to believe that maybe people are just not being fed information that's accurate and that he has re-signed already, because this is it just reminds me like of the last time that we were talking about Drew's contract, and it became such a topic online that even Triple H discussed it in a press conference. And he was like, yeah, I think it was after Mania last year. And so I'm hoping that this is just the same situation, that we're just not in the know right now, because come on, like you cannot let this dude go, and you can't drop the ball on a potentially, I don't even know what to say, like legendary,
I would say generational feud.
Yeah, generational feud with CM Punk. Like you cannot leave us hanging. You can't be teasing us and then never let it happen, No. And I think most of us probably want to see him win at Clash in the Castle. Like,
no, this is his story. He doesn't win. He wins in front of the home crowd. Or let me go back a few steps. He wins in front of a crowd for the championship, that's what he wanted all along.
Well, he did that at Mania.
Because he didn't do it at Mania.
No, he did do it at Mania.
No. He didn't do it at Mania when he won after the Rumble. So he didn't have the moment. Then he goes to Mania, where we're at, has that moment, but then it's taken away from him. Well, what's more sweet than winning in front of a crowd for the first time? Well, how about you win in front of your home crowd?
Yeah.
And then that's what they're building to. And that's exactly what Becky was saying about seeing things through. There's a beginning, middle, and end. Like the middle was Mania.
Yeah.
The end is Scotland, Clash of the Castle. If you see this through, then it's you're invested. You want to see it. That's what I'm talking. Like that, it's not even a question if he's going to resign, because you have that, and you really think he's going to go to AEW. Like, where do you put him?
I don't think he'd go to AEW. I think he'd go to TNA. That's just because of his history there.
Bigger.
I know. And
he's bigger than TNA.
So Clash at the Castle isn't till June. So
really?
June 15th.
Ooh, that is late.
I know. I just looked it up because I was like, I swear it was in May.
I thought it was too.
No, Clash of the Castle in Scotland is June 15th. So
well, because Backlash is May, right?
Yeah, Backlash, and then isn't there a Saudi show in May also? I think there's a Saudi
I wouldn't
show.
be shocked about that.
I think there is. Towards the end of the month. But yeah, I saw some people speculating too, like, oh, they decided to do this show in Scotland as a way to like keep Drew around. I'm like, guys, they don't just like plan that like a month in advance. Like that's not just like, oh, we want to try to convince this guy to stay. I just hope that, because we were talking about what Becky said with Triple H planning things, I would like to believe that he does have a plan for Drew, and it is a long-term plan, because if he doesn't, I don't necessarily blame Drew for potentially leaving or even entertaining the idea, because like, yeah, he could be a top guy, but I do think that he's doing the best work of his career and he deserves to be a champion at this point. And if you're not going to do that when the iron's hot, then what are we doing? Like, why would he stay?
Oh yeah.
So
no, I don't even entertain. I don't even entertain the idea, because it just does not make sense to me at all for him to leave, even if he doesn't have a contract right now. There doesn't really there's no need for him to re-sign, because one, he's in the middle of something, and two, there's no rush if you're not trying to leave. Like, it'll get done when it gets done, because you're content, you're happy. And when you got a payoff that's pretty imminent in front of your home crowd, like, be patient, let it play out.
It has to. By the way, it's King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi.
Good. I've seen pics. I've seen rumblings. I mean, for a pic of Gunther to be King
I don't
of
want
the
it.
Ring.
Absolutely not. I don't want
it.
King of the Ring and Queen of the Queen of the Ring is stupid, but King of the Rings and stuff in recent years has been their way of punishing that person. So no.
Okay. In recent years.
Yes. Yeah.
The new era.
I know, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. Like, I don't think that Triple H is that kind of dude that's gonna like try and embarrass somebody. So I'm not worried about that. It's just like the aura surrounding the title of King of the Ring. Like, it was a punishment for these people, and it was a way to embarrass them. So it's like, I don't want that to be Gunther. Like,
see, I don't see that anymore, because Triple H was supposed to win King of the Ring, and he didn't. As a punishment, it was supposed to be King of the Ring was the next in line for the championship and all that, and then he didn't get it. Whatever. So I think he is going to be the guy who makes it a privilege.
I feel like it needs to be something more than just like, okay, here's a crown. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what it became. It was like, oh, you have a crown.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would anyone try to win King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring? Like, what is their motivation if all it is like, okay, we'll call you the Queen of the Ring for a few weeks? Like, that's not like, why would I try to participate in that?
I know, but I think Gunther will, if he would to win it. I see him not doing the crown and scepter shtick and making it like a throne, like just a chair. And he's just like, I am the King of the Ring. And he's like, that's his thing. So, what's the question? Tight stock character. I don't know. Oh, I don't like that camera. There we go. All right. Micah, I don't think we want the butterfly belt.
I have that one, but yeah. I don't.
King Corbin wasn't a fail. King Woods, I don't remember at all.
Then there was also Zelina Vega.
She hit though. I like that.
But it's still just like, but who else did they punish? Didn't they punish? Wasn't it like a punishment to Sheamus or?
I was gonna say Sheamus was one.
Yeah.
So
it's like no. That's the thing. Is just like I'm not into it. I don't know.
All right. Well, we will see if it becomes legit or not. Let's talk about Chris Jericho.
All right.
Let's talk about his comments that he made on a podcast saying that, or the tweet was, how could Chris Jericho mention the names of Roddy Piper, Razor Ramon, and Orange Cassidy in the same sentence? And it was alluding to who are some of the greatest of all time that never won a championship. And he started by saying, if you want to talk old school, the ones that have, come and gone, he says, Roddy Piper, Razor Ramon, your guy. And then he says the modern era, Orange Cassidy, starts him with him. And you didn't like this. All right. I don't, if I understand what he is trying to say, I just wish he worded it differently.
Well, okay, I understand what he's saying, because he's saying, like, okay, if we're talking about the past, it's this. And then if we're talking about right now, this is who I think should be world champion.
Yeah.
But then it was like, the thing is though, he then goes and lists other people. Like, he literally lists Sammy Guevara.
That pissed me off. No. That's the one where I was like, all right, Chris, that's your
like,
buddy.
Yeah, we get you're a homer, dude. Like, we get it. Okay. I think that, he just didn't go about clarifying the difference in what he was talking about, so it's like the question was, who were some great wrestlers that never became champion that should have been? Then why are we even talking about the modern era? You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be talking about guys who are still active and still young in their career, and they could eventually become world champion. Not to mention, stop listing off the entire AEW locker room. That's like what he was doing. And it's like, stop it. Like, if we're supposed to value the championship and what it means to be a champion and like the face of the company, then don't list all of your friends as the ones that should be in line to be a champion, because that's not a thing. That's not, and you're just trying to put your guys over.
Yeah, but I agreed with the Orange Cassidy. I do believe he should be world champion one day, but that wasn't the question, and that's where Chris Jericho just does Chris Jericho things.
Yeah, he's just trying to hype up AEW. That's what he was
doing. That's all it was. But he did leave some pretty big names off there to me. One of them I said right away to you was Mr. Perfect. That's the one. I don't know how Mr. Perfect didn't become WWE champion. The other one is Jake the Snake.
I feel like he just like said the ones that everyone says. It's like he almost didn't really know. You know what I mean? Like, everyone says
I would say he didn't care. I think he didn't care.
Yeah, he just didn't. He was like, okay, well, these are the ones that I know, but that's it. And then it's like, I just want to put my guys over. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like you can name DiBiase. I already said Perfect, DiBiase, Jake the Snake. I'm trying to think of ones not modern, but from like the early 2000s. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. But I mean, I could think, if you gave me a couple minutes, I could think of some.
Well, because once you get to the more modern era, everyone was becoming champion.
Everyone did.
Like, it was a title that was passed around a lot more than it did in the 90s and the 80s, where people were champion for 4 years, 8 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? And then once we hit like the 2000, it was like, okay, everyone's passing the title around. So it's kind of hard to pick someone from the modern era, really.
Like, even Great Khali won.
I know.
Like, maybe Umaga, if there was more depth to his character, but like Wade Barrett, Micah, is I put your comment up here for a reason. Wade Barrett is easily someone who I believe could have been world champion if he stayed healthy, but
and booked him correctly, because he went through so many character shifts. It was like you couldn't ever really get behind them, because it was either like he was the leader of some weird corny group, or they were trying to push him as a singles guy, but they never really did anything with him. Like, the only character that really hit was Bad News Barrett, and that didn't last very long
because of injuries.
Yeah.
Rick Rude, that's another good one, Chris. That's another good one, Rick Rude. All right, yeah. All right, what's the next one? Oh, okay, I'll do that one next. Will Ospreay made some comments on AEW following the grind comments that Triple H made, alluding to just any wrestler, and I emphasize any wrestler who chooses to work for another company because of schedule or money over WWE. Because get this, WWE is a grind, and it's not a grind of just work and ring stuff. You have to travel. You have to do media appearances. You have to do, community service stuff like a Make-A-Wish or, some sort of involvement like that. Like, it's not just the wrestling, okay? I'm kind of going to allude to Sara. Sara, I'm making a connection right now.
Okay.
WWE
is
like the Patriot way.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about it, in football, it wasn't just the play on the field. That was expected. You were expected to be great. But when it came to your involvement in the community and being a face for the fans that come to watch you play every week, that's what the standard is for WWE. And when you think of it like that, it is held on a higher standard and higher level than every other wrestling company because they are just wrestling companies, or if you want to throw sports entertainment. No, WWE is a business and a damn profitable one at that. So, sorry, LA Knight came on my screen and I was absolutely captivated. But his comments, Will Ospreay made comments about how he was, he grinded on the boss's daughter to get his way and all that. And as you can see here, our good pal, hopefully one day friend of the show, Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash, said that those comments were not smart. Will Ospreay, they were not smart. Okay. And I have to agree with Big Daddy Cool that, they weren't smart. I get it. The passion's there. You love AEW because Tony Khan loves you and wants you to be the next star. I get it and love it. Keep doing it. But sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut.
Well, and I agree with what Kevin said when he said he didn't even name drop you.
He didn't.
He didn't even say your name.
He didn't.
It reminds me of when you're on Twitter and you have a friend or whatever that you follow and they subtweet something and it you think it's about them, it's
that
about
anxiety
you.
hits.
And it's like if it applies to you, then it could be about you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's about you because obviously when you have friends, they're going to have multiple friends. So they can say things that might.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're not the only focus of their world. So they're not only subtweeting about you. So to me, this just felt like that was a situation with Ospreay where it was like it hit a nerve with him, maybe because it applied to him or he felt like it did. And then he felt like he needed to respond. But it was like he wasn't talking about you.
Exactly.
The internet decided he was talking about you, but that doesn't mean that he was. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he was saying because we don't know how many other people that he has been in contact with and tried to negotiate a contract and try to get them to come to WWE. Just because it's not, a big name like Will Ospreay or Okada, like that doesn't mean that he hasn't talked to people. So maybe he was referencing some other younger up and coming wrestlers that were like, you know what? No, like I'm just going to go do this. I'm going to go do this instead. And that they weren't willing to do the work that it takes to be a WWE superstar. That I just don't really, to me, it doesn't make any sense for Triple H to be saying anything negative about Will Ospreay when he tried to get him to come to WWE. Ospreay's young enough to eventually come to WWE. Triple H is not trying to burn bridges, never mind publicly burn bridges with anybody who could eventually be a huge star in his company. Like, none of it makes sense. And so this just reminds me of what we were saying earlier with Tony Khan playing the footage. Like, you think you did something, bro, but you didn't. If anything, you just looked dumb. Like, you shouldn't have said anything at all.
Oh shit, I gotta do it. But yeah, he should not have said anything at all. It just makes no sense. Yeah, I can't. Let me look comments. This is what I was looking for. Thank you. In terms of Ospreay's comments, my opinion, he didn't say anything or didn't say nothing what other people hadn't said before and made reference to sleeping would get to the top. Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of over it. Like, it wasn't like a cheeky remark. It was really kind of just bad over your head.
But the thing is
that's what kind of annoyed me with it.
It's been over 20 years, bro.
Exactly.
Like,
They're
why
married
are
with
we still
kids.
saying that? Like,
Yeah.
I would assume that we're kind of past that, because it would be different if like we were still in 2001 and it's like, okay, but like they've been married for 20 something years. They have 3 daughters. He's been with WWE, has really climbed the ladder from being a wrestler to where he is at now.
Yeah, you
Like, do
don't
we
get that
really?
just sleeping up to, like, you
Yeah, like
don't.
that's beyond that. And let's say that's originally what it was. Okay, well, they appear to be in a happy marriage and they've been together for over 20 years and they're thriving. So what is there to hate on, unless you're jealous of what they have? Like, this just seems
Literally.
ridiculous at this point. It's not a gotcha. It's like, okay, this is something that was said in 2000, but great job.
Yeah. I have no other, because you're so right. I just have nothing else to add. Weren't smart comments, but if Oscar ever wants to go to Triple H and work for WWE, they take him because WWE is a business and they can make money off him. I mean, how many guys have said shit about WWE and then fucking Eric Bischoff shook hands with what? What's this?
The most recent, what were we saying? Hell froze over.
Oh, true. CM Punk
Like,
showed back up. Like,
CM Punk
anything
said
is fucking possible.
he said way worse things about WWE.
About WWE on WWE programming.
Yeah, like it's just like he's
did.
and in the 10 years that he was gone, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's not impossible for Ospreay to get there eventually, but this isn't the right way to necessarily go about it, especially when Triple H didn't say your name, because he could have. It was on McAfee's show. It's not like it was on WWE programming that he had to, censor himself. He very easily could have said a guy that just signed over there or a star in the other company, like he could have said that, and then you could put 2 and 2 together. But he's speaking in generalities, and people just want to believe it's about Ospreay because he was one of their newer signings that people felt like applied all of the stuff that he was saying applied to him. And it's like, okay, here we go. Like, listening to the internet again, because they're a reliable source 100% of the time.
100% of the time, Sarah. And don't
Yeah.
you forget it. Samoan Watchman, new here, just subbed. What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
What's poppin'?
What's going on, man?
We talk about a lot of Samoans on this show, so great.
I know. We're very excited about it, actually. So
and we're very excited about our Samoans.
Yeah, so welcome aboard, man. Thank you
So
for
to watch
watching.
some Samoans. That's what I'm watching.
Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow talking about whatever the bloodline is doing on SmackDown tonight. So
that's gonna be such a great way to head into the weekend.
Yeah. I am also going to be going live on Sunday to talk about the Patriots draft. So yeah, I'm getting back into Patriots streaming. So
nice.
And then I'm going to be a busy little squirrel next week because I got all this draft stuff that I got to do. So
when is the draft? I'm so out of
Thursday.
Thursday.
Night, first round. So I'll be on a live stream on Thursday.
So you're telling me
when the Patriots pick.
So you're telling me the WWE draft is the same week as the NFL draft?
Mm-hmm. It's the third. Yeah, it's the second night of the draft. Yeah.
I love sports. Okay. Mm-hmm. You gotta love sports.
So I'm gonna probably have to watch SmackDown like the next day because I have to prioritize my job, and my job right now is covering the Patriots. So on Friday I'm gonna be watching rounds 2 and 3. So SmackDown will have to wait.
You'll have to wait. Yeah, you cover the Patriots for your job. I give the great people of Boston some of the freshest fish. So, it's the dichotomy of the show, really. Mm-hmm. Are we gonna do a WWE mock draft? We could if you want.
Maybe, because if we're gonna do this show next week, probably has to be Wednesday.
Yes.
Because Thursday I'm gonna be busy. So Wednesday.
That's so nice.
Yeah. So Wednesday we could do it. And then I mean we could. It's so hard to say like who's gonna go where, but
that's the thing. It's not like it's
well, because it's not better, like fully different rosters. It's like, okay, who from SmackDown is going to go to Raw and who from Raw is going to go to SmackDown and who from NXT is going to get called up. It's basically like, okay, that's it. It's not like
shake-up.
Yeah, they're not like resetting both rosters. So
like they did before.
Yeah.
Like it's
I always hated that.
What, when they reset the roster?
The entire thing, yeah.
Yeah,
It was just too much.
I do like how they do it where it's a draft, but it's more just like a lottery. Like, you just you go wherever. I do like that. Sara looks like a spy from a TV show breaking into a vault surrounded by lasers. Oh, he's talking about your outfit.
Oh, if I'm gonna be honest, okay, so I'm wearing a black turtleneck, and that is because I had to interview Teddy Bruschi this morning, and he's my first ever interview, like official interview. And when I get nervous, I break out in hives on my neck. So I was prepared. I was like, okay, if I get really nervous, I should wear a turtleneck, because if I break out in hives, I don't want him to see it. So I wore a turtleneck, and that was the easiest way I thought to like avoid that as like an added stressor. You know what I mean?
You also look like a college girl who makes up a fake company and steals millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. She's in jail right now, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay.
She should be so in jail.
Should I talk like this? Because then I'm like more serious. Like I'm taking more seriously. Yeah.
Is that what it's Theranos? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That shit was wild.
I mean, it would have been a really cool thing if she actually developed it and it was like legit. Like that would have been revolutionary. But I mean, I would assume there was a reason why it hadn't been created yet. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, how did you do it so easily? But like medical professionals haven't been able to in the decades, hundreds of years that they've been around. But
yeah.
What else?
It's a good time to be a Samoan right now.
It really is, man.
You're damn right.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting.
If Rhea Ripley returns, will Judgment Day betray her? No,
I don't think so.
She's the leader of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
He is the leader of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And then because King raises Lexi's questions.
Oh.
Top NBA West and East teams.
I mean, Nuggets for the West, and who else is good in the West? Like in the top?
Not really. Nuggets. You have the Suns.
I don't trust the Suns.
According to Nathaniel, the Lakers are the number 1 seed in the NBA. So.
Oh well, and for the East, the Celtics.
It's not even.
And I mean, I would say maybe the Bucks, only because they're sneaky good sometimes. Like when they get into the playoffs, they can be really good, and they have Giannis. So it's like, I'm not saying that they could necessarily beat the Celtics, but I feel like they're probably the bigger concern, I think, out of all the other teams because of their experience in the postseason. They've got Giannis. They have who is it that is always such a threat for the Celtics?
Chris Middleton.
Yeah. He is like the Undertaker.
He just hits threes.
Like, yeah, he's the Undertaker when he plays the Celtics for some reason. So yeah, I would say that.
And they have my guy. It's not Tiffy time, it's Dame time.
Oh,
I love Damian Lillard. I love Damian Lillard, one of the coldest players in the NBA.
Well, there you go.
I love him. Wow, you just got me excited. I'm not excited about this though, because Roman is not expected back for a while in WWE. It seems like he's going to do some Hollywood ventures. Even former Nickelodeon star herself, Keke Palmer, whose name is Lauren, apparently. Did not know that. Lauren Keke Palmer.
Oh.
I did not know that.
I didn't know.
She posted a behind the scenes footage or picture of Roman Reigns sitting on a throne, surrounded by beautiful women for some project they're doing in Hollywood. So it seems like Roman is going his cousin's route after this. And I applaud him. Like, go do it, man. You earned it.
It makes sense why he's like in the best shape of his life right now, too. You know what I mean? We were seeing that 6-pack at Mania. That's not something we've seen before. And we noticed he dropped weight. You could tell he had like leaned out. So now it makes sense because, yeah, you're filming movies. So you want to be like in the best shape. But the good thing is we knew that this was probably going to happen. And it makes sense, right? Because, I mean, like if he was going to lose the title, then it feels like there should have been a reason, more so than just trying to give it to Cody, like is what people are trying to say. It's like, okay, well, if he signed on to do these movies, then yeah, he had to drop the title. because you can't be like off filming movies and holding the title even more hostage. Like that's not fair.
That's Hollywood hostage. That's a different type.
Yeah. But then we also saw that they said he's still going to be actively involved in what is happening with the bloodline. So even though he's going to be gone, he's still going to be, somehow putting in his 2 cents about what they should be doing and the direction that they should go in and blah, blah, blah. So that is pretty cool because I think he's earned that right as well. Like, especially if they're going to do this like big babyface turn for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He absolutely needs to have some sort of creative control within the bloodline story because he is the one who originated it essentially with Paul Heyman. And his work in it is legitimately some of the best work I've ever seen Roman Reigns ever do. So he should have a voice in it. Absolutely. Breaking news, Sarah. AJ Styles will be competing against Cody Rhodes.
I love how you just spoiled that for me.
Well, it's live.
Yeah, but not for me.
Are we not breaking? We don't break that type of news here.
No, when people are maybe not watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
it's a spoiler. It's not breaking news.
It's not a prediction.
Whatever. Spoiler. We already knew that was going to happen anyway, so you didn't really spoil it for me. So
call Roman Reigns.
All right.
Okay. Next up, we'll just briefly touch on this. That Cody teases future matchup with The Rock in the future, and I need it. I need it so bad.
Yeah, he was on like Good Morning Britain or something this morning, and they asked him if he was going to have a match with The Rock, and he said that he thinks so, but obviously he's not the one in charge. But I feel like they laid the groundwork for that, so it has to happen. I don't know that it necessarily has to be at WrestleMania, but it's possible because if they really are going to go in this direction of, this bloodline versus this bloodline, that could end up being, a Civil War match or something like that at Mania, which means that leaves The Rock open. So, and really, are we really going to say that Cody Rhodes versus The Rock wouldn't headline? Of course it would. But and that feels like that's the only opportunity that they would have unless it was at the Royal Rumble or something, because from what we know, The Rock is booked solid for the rest of the year with movies and promotions and stuff like that. So it's not like we could say, oh, it's going to happen at SummerSlam. There's just no way from what we know. So I think we'll probably see hints of it. We'll probably get some sporadic appearances from The Rock the rest of the year that doesn't involve any physicality, but I would be into it. I would be more into that than him versus Roman at this point.
I would be very much into a Cody versus Rock over Roman versus Rock. There's too much there to dissect that they left us on a cliffhanger so much that it needs to happen. And
well, because it feels like the beef is more between the two of them, and that's again a result of Roman not one being able to hang, and two not being like a real force in these feuds that he's had leading up to Mania. It's again last year it was basically, we could have seen a Paul Heyman versus Cody Rhodes match, and that would have made more sense because it felt like they were feuding. And this year it did feel like it was The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and not Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. So I would be more into that. And if they're going to keep The Rock as a heel, please, I'm intrigued.
I'm very intrigued. I need it. Yeah, because this leads to this. All right. Because it's reported that The Rock, what he gave back to Cody Rhodes was the gift that Cody gifted him for WrestleMania. And I don't know, this might be a good time to say subscribe and go check out the archives, because I, the champ of the peeps, have already said this, that it was. Everyone's like, what was it? What was it? I'm like, I know. Come on. What is the one thing that would mean so much to Cody if he gave, to give to The Rock and then break his heart for him to give it back? But why did The Rock give it back? And that's that leaves you hanging on and makes you want to tune in when The Rock does come back. It was so well done. And I don't know. I gotta give my little pat. Nope, wrong. You got this title. You pat on the back there. There you go.
You know what would make it the whole thing even more interesting is like we had talked about the possibility of The Rock being like a double agent. You know what I mean? Like if he was working for Cody while actively working for Roman, and then that was the way that he was going to turn on Roman. It would be interesting if there was some sort of like validity to that, at least between him and Cody. And maybe that is why he's like, don't break my heart again or whatever, because that seems to not really make any sense.
That makes no sense.
In the context that we saw it. But it would make sense if like, okay, maybe there was a plan or they had some sort of plan and Cody didn't follow through and maybe he wasn't supposed to win the title, but he did. You know what I mean? Something. It would be kind of add a little bit more of a layer to that story. I don't know if they'll go that route, but it'd be kind of interesting because it doesn't really make any sense why he would give him back the Rolex, like why he would say, don't break my heart again. Like, what are we talking about? What are we? So, but the funny part about it too is to think about it, right? Like if it really was the Rolex that he gave him, it's like when they got to the back, Cody's just like, here you go. Like he just gives it back, you know? It's like, this was a gift, bro. Like take it back.
Yeah, I need like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was just a prop for the segment, but it's like, no, dude, like here you go.
Yeah, it's on you. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's so sad. What's up next? Sarah, you know what I said? I know ball. Can you just, because we're fair here at Pit Sarah's wrestling show. What do you know ball about? What did you predict? Because there's something stuff. Well, yeah, it's happening in front of me. I'm not spoiling anymore because apparently we don't do that type of breaking news here.
No, because I saw Micah say you spoiled it.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so used to sports where like something happens and it's like, oh, breaking, you got to tell.
Yeah,
but
because it's not live. Yeah,
it's all right.
I don't know what else recently. I don't know. I think Solo was just the biggest one because that was like a year in advance.
That was longer than me knowing ball. So.
I was right, I guess we could say, about the tag match that Rock was going to pin Cody. I was right about that.
You were.
I called that a while ago, but nothing like super exciting. I would say the Solo thing was the most exciting.
We got to give you credit for that though, because that was incredible.
Yeah.
Sarah, go off about why. Because I'll go off, but I'm gonna let you cook it up here and start it off. Because Jim Johnson, and yes, it's spelled correctly. It was interviewed by Chris Van Fleet the other day, and he was asked why has he not been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And it spurred my question of like, why isn't he? He legitimately has some of the greatest theme songs ever created in wrestling history, to the point where I listen to them on the daily. So why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? Sarah, I don't know.
And he said that he didn't really know either. But he said that he feels like if they haven't put him in by now, they're probably never going to, because why now? Why didn't you do it, 5-10 years ago, whenever? Like they could have done it a long time ago. But what I thought was interesting, and I totally understand this, is that he's not really upset about it anymore. Like it's not something that's on his mind. He doesn't really care if he were to become a Hall of Famer or not. And it's like, because he did a lot for a long time, and he's proud of the work that he did, but he was fired. So he's still, a little bit bitter about that. And he said that he kind of hopes in a way that they don't do it, because he would hate to have to go and like be chummy with the people that were involved with firing him. And he wouldn't want to have to be fake, around those people. So and wouldn't want to have to put the company over. So I totally understand that. And he said he's not trying to be petty, but like, no, like I think you're completely valid, because that's the type of business that this is. People, they don't ask you to do something normally if they don't get something in return. And when it comes to wrestling, it's like, okay, if we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame, it's like, yeah, because then we want you to come in, and in your speech, you're going to talk about how great your time was here, how great this and this and this and that were, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's because they get something from it. So I would be the same way. I'd be like, I don't, like he said, it would be an honor, but.
Yeah, I know. And it would be an honor. It would be one of the highest honors that you could, achieve. And he absolutely deserves it. With the new era, Triple H is a different person than Vince. I don't think there's any ill will or, you scratch my back, I scratch your type of deal to putting you in the Hall of Fame. He's
Yeah.
all about what the fans want. And the man should be enshrined for the incredible work that he did for decades upon decades.
Yeah. Well, especially where, I don't remember what year he was fired, but he's still being talked about, like people are still wanting him to be back. So it's like that'll show you how influential and appreciated he was, at least by the fans. Like even if he wasn't by whoever made the decision to fire him and whatever. I think that just tells you everything that you need to know about him.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Sorry, I had to charge my laptop. We're dying here. And we're so close to the end of the show. Mr. Anderson, yeah. I mean, most entrance themes now are so generic. I mean, God damn it. Look at the Creed brothers. I physically cannot stand the Creed brothers anymore because of their entrance. And I like the Creed brothers. That's the problem. I think they're great. I want to watch them every week, but I would rather watch them in the ring as they come back from commercial break.
Well, we can talk about this then too, because it kind of goes hand in hand. Where Def Rebel has been trending on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. It's Twitter. I don't care what anyone says.
It's Twitter.
They've been trending for like the last 36 hours because people have been making fun of their themes, and they've even created their own themes of what they think. Like, okay, if Def Rebel made like a new one for Nia Jax, it would involve her screaming and yelling my whole. So there's like ones like that, and
the Stone Cold one is without a doubt the worst, and I couldn't stop laughing.
It's funny because like I get that they're trolling, but it really doesn't feel that far off from what they would potentially put together for these.
It's like really bad. Yeah, Mike has said it. I don't talk ill will about wrestlers here. People who make the wrestlers intro, step on in. Yeah, because I have so much to complain about you. As someone who listens to that type of music all day to hype themselves up, I feel like I could put something together that's better on GarageBand or Adobe Audition. I think I did put the intro to the Patriots podcast. I did, which you've definitely heard because you were a guest on it. I did that.
Yeah,
I mix that together. If you want the info, just like hit me up on Twitter. I can send it to you on SoundCloud. But I did that, and it is better than anything that Def Rebel has done.
Well, and I think one of the bigger issues is that they are creating all of this music from scratch, yet all of it sounds the same. So like that's a problem. All of these theme songs should not be sounding like they have the same background music. So I think that is a huge issue. It's because you can't identify who these people are just by listening to the theme song. That was the biggest issue with the Royal Rumble this year. No one knew who it was.
No one knew what any theme song was. It was absolutely terrible. Even your world heavyweight champion did not know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I would say the worst song, Micah, is definitely the Creeds. Wendy Chu was pretty bad too.
Tiffany's was bad before they changed it back.
I did like the It's Tiffy Time. I like something like that.
That's the other thing though. They also keep trying to like add like their signature catchphrases to like every song, and I'm like, okay, you can't do that for everybody because then it's no longer special.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It's you don't hear stuff. I mean, the Def Rebel version, the one you sent me, you don't have it start with Steve Austin saying, "Give me a hell yeah." I'm sorry, but
my whole.
Yeah. It's just so. I don't, Mr. I'm mixed with.
It makes sense for like Pretty Deadly. Where like yes boy, or LA Night where it's like LA Night. Like there's certain moment like that makes sense, but adding it to everybody, it's like okay, like
yeah.
And I don't like Naomi's new song either. I like the N-A-O-M. I like that, but I preferred her old song.
Bring it to the flow.
Yeah, that was so much better.
That was so good.
Yeah.
CFO had some good ones too. I used to work out to Seth's old theme with the I used to work out to that. There's a couple other ones I like. Would CFO Enzo and Cass?
I think so, yeah.
Because that was good too. I like that one.
Yeah.
I just miss it.
My name is Enzo Amore. And I am a certified G and a bona fide stud. And you can't teach that.
And this
right here is Big Cass. And he's 7 foot tall. And you can't teach that. Bada boom. Realest guy in the room. How you doing? Oh my God, I love to watch their debut on Raw. It was such a good moment. Okay, come on. Let's finish up so that you stop getting distracted.
Sorry, I was
just go to the 3 count. It's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, okay. It's whatever.
All right. 3 count. Oh no. Well, 1. All right. This has been really like irking me. I'm not gonna lie. The people. So it was a report that came out that they want to do away with WrestleMania in April. Nick Khan said he doesn't want.
It's a possibility. It's
possibility.
Yeah.
It's a possibility because of March Madness and other stuff. With the playoffs start and whatever. And the possibility is it going to May. Everyone freaked out about it. And I was saying, oh, well, they're going to do this. This is stupid, all that. Here's my issue with it. There is no issue. All right. I see no issue with it at all because the Royal Rumble starts in January. February, March is a wash. You're just whatever.
Well, there's Elimination Chamber.
We'll change it. I'm saying a wash is in like, it's not like a big 4 pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing huge going on. Do like a St. Valentine's Day Massacre in February or like a St. Patty's Day Bash or
there's
something.
Elimination Chamber in February.
But they're doing away with like match type pay-per-views.
Who said?
This was like a report passed like
but they just had Elimination Chamber this year.
I mean, they had No Way Out for how many years? That changed immediately.
Well, I don't know. I
guess that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm thinking that they're going to change stuff. Okay. So they're going to change Elimination Chamber to one of those 2, theme type things. And then you have April. Well, you have 4 weeks anyways that you don't do in March. So just have that be April. And then May, you kick off May with Mania. And then you can jump right into back. Like, it makes sense. And it's not that big of a deal.
I don't think that it needs to necessarily be pushed to May. I don't see anything. I think, like, I understand why they wouldn't want to have it the same weekend as March Madness. Like, that makes sense. Like, yeah. I get why they wouldn't want to have it the same weekend as the NFL draft, so you can't have it too late in April. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, I like it being in April just because it's been in April, like, my entire life. So, like, yeah, that, exactly. I think that becomes a staple, but otherwise it's like, I don't care. As long as we get a WrestleMania, then that's fine,
That's literally it.
Yeah.
As long as we get Mania, I don't care.
I do love that we were possibly at the last outdoor stadium Mania.
I know.
That'll be pretty legendary.
That is kind of legendary, but now does it make sense?
No. Good decision, though, because we were. It was under 50 degrees on night 1. Because it's so cold. The thing is like, I thought that when they decided that they were going to start doing like outdoor stadiums again, that they were going to treat it the way that the NFL does for the Super Bowl. Like, you only do outdoor stadiums in warmer climates. Like, or at least when you expect it to be warmer. So like if you did one in Florida, it's like, okay, well, the humidity is going to make it feel warmer, even if it's not that warm. But then they're like, no, let's go to Philly. And you're like, what? Like, and then they're talking about potentially, like, I get it, is indoors, but like going to Minnesota. Why would anyone want to go to Minnesota? First of all, in general, but why would anyone want to go to Minnesota when it's freezing ass cold?
Yeah.
And it's not a touristy destination. No one is like, you know where I really want to go? Minneapolis. Like, no.
I'm not a big fan of Minneapolis either. And I like how they have pivoted themselves into potentially having Mania in Las Vegas, which you can't tell me I can't go to that. I mean, you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
That would be legendary. Vegas for 41. Oh my God.
It's such a good opportunity, I feel like, for them, because there's so many, like, you already have an arena. You could probably do something at the Sphere, like not Mania, but like you could probably do some sort of cool event at the Sphere.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but then they have like convention centers and they have giant hotels. So like if you need some sort of like, space for any sort of event, it's like it's all right there. And it's a hot touristy destination. You're gonna probably guarantee more that people will stick around for the entire weekend. So like if you do SmackDown and Raw in Vegas as well, you're probably gonna get more people willing to actually pay tickets to be there, because it's like, okay, well, it's Vegas. Like, yeah, I'll extend my trip to stay in Vegas longer. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not even an option. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll have to see that. I don't mind it being in May. In May, I don't mind them pivoting and moving to Las Vegas. I just want it to happen. Sarah, number 2, need you and everyone here in the comment section to start believing in Joe Hendry, because I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right.
If anyone who doesn't know who he is, TNA wrestler. He's feuding right now with AJ Francis and Rich Swann, and he is one of the most over gimmicks ever. Just say his name and he appears, and then he appears. But his intro song is one of the catchiest. We're talking about theme songs this episode.
Mm-hmm.
He has the most catchy theme song out of anyone. It just say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Boom, boom.
That sounds terrifying.
No, you gotta watch. It's so good. And then he does parody songs of different people that he's feuding with. So he did one with Matt Cardona about him being Edge's bitch, which I thought was hilarious. He did one. He's doing one with AJ Francis right now. He did another one with a couple. Like he's like Bo Burnham of wrestling. He just makes songs about people to burn them instead of like promos. And then he actually had a real beef with Simon Miller, the old What Culture guy. He had like beef with him, he's a wrestler now too. So, but I love Joe Hendry. His song, he's trying to get it on Apple Music right now, and you need like 36,000 something pre-downloads. I don't know what the thing is. Go follow him on Twitter to find it out, because it is unbelievable. And I think everyone should support him. So, and then 3, people talk about how we're just WWE. All right. And it really kind of peeves me, Sarah. All right. So what I'm going to do quick, and we're going to go off an AEW fan and someone who doesn't watch the product but is familiar with it.
Okay.
Predictions. All right.
Okay.
Just to have we just want video footage of this so that we can have these stupid marks who call us out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No. All right. We know ball, Sarah. We know ball. So we're going to show them that we know ball by going through some predictions for AEW Dynasty. All right, here we go. Thank you, Bleacher Report, for giving us the card. All right, so okay, I don't care about that. Okay, I'll go bottom to top. Bullet Club Gold versus the Acclaimed for essentially the undisputed 6-man.
Can I just pick before you?
Yeah, I don't care how you pick, but just you get a pick.
Bullet Club Gold.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. This match you actually should watch. Not gonna lie. Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Oof. Danielson.
I'm going Ospreay.
Okay.
Young Bucks versus FTR ladder match.
Young Bucks.
I got Young Bucks.
I'm just going off vibes.
That's
simply
go.
Vibes.
That's base. Go off it. I love that. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale for TBS Championship. Winner faces. This is a key detail. Winner faces Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing.
Willow.
I got Willow too because of that detail. House of Black versus Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and not Eddie Kingston again, Adam Copeland, Edge. Talk about your just hodgepodge tag team match.
I'm gonna pick the hodgepodge team.
I'm picking House of Black. I'm obsessed with the House of Black. Okada versus Pac, formerly Neville.
Okada.
I'm going Okada too. Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong, International Championship.
Kyle O'Reilly.
I'm gonna go Roderick Strong. Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa. The AEW
Tony
Women's
Storm.
I'm going Tony Storm too. I am not a big fan of Thunder Rosa. I actually would rather see Deonna Purrazzo in this match, but that's just me. That's just the champ. And then your main event, Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland.
Has Swerve been the champion yet?
No.
Okay, then I'm going Swerve.
I'm going Swerve. I think this is Swerve's time.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip of him doing the stomp onto the security and then like landing on his feet and just like walking up the it was iconic. It was something out of a comic book. It was incredible. Oh, it was awesome. I think that. All right, good. We did some AEW predictions. And you went off strictly vibes, and you're probably gonna get 80% right.
Vibes.
That's how we do it. That's what we're about. Vibes on this show. Oh, and that's the show. Yeah. We did it. And thank you guys for tuning in with us. We didn't get to a lot of comments here, but I'll do it right now before we get going. Mr. Anderson's got Swerve, Okada, agrees with me with Ospreay, Young Bucks. I mean, when they're doing an angle about being the bosses, it's kind of hard to root against them. Mr. Anderson said WrestleMania in Hawaii at the stadium where they held the Pro Bowl. That would be cool, but that'd be a hell of a time difference. That would be a hell of a time difference. So
they would be, I think they're like 6 hours behind East Coast.
They are. Yeah. 6 hours.
Yeah.
So imagine. So if
that would be a great destination, though. That would get people to go, but it's expensive there. So
yeah, it's like one of the highest paying like for rent and stuff.
Well, yeah, it's really expensive. But then everything else is expensive too because it's all imported.
Yeah, it's all imported stuff.
Yeah,
and there's no roads. Just the ocean, baby. The motion of the ocean.
Yeah.
And all right, thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of the show. We'll be back tomorrow, actually, to break down what's on the screen in front of me, SmackDown. And I'm not gonna spoil anything else. I already spoiled one thing. My bad. All right. So go check out what I didn't spoil, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk about it. And in the meantime, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to know when we post. Seriously, go check out the archives. We know ball isn't just for a funny reason. We actually are predicting stuff that's happening, and it's just because we know ball. So go check that out, right? Balloons, all right? They get it. So go check out all that stuff. Go follow us on all the social media platforms that are in the links in the description below. And yeah, that's all we got. Thank you guys for tuning in, and God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes, one more time.